Welcome to the Collaborative. I'm your host, Sydnee Walker. Today, we are joined by broadcast journalist and TV personality, Cari Champion. Cari has consistently provided sports and culture enthusiasts with an authentic and candid perspective on various platforms. Her influence extends beyond traditional television, as evidenced by the enthusiastic reception of her Naked with Cari Champion podcast. Prior to her current endeavors, she distinguished herself as an anchor and host at ESPN, where she held prominent roles on flagship programs. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate it.
So first we have Sid's This or That Summer Edition. I'll give
Okay.
you a few options and you'll tell me which one you prefer.
Okay.
So first, ocean or pool?
That's hard. That's not even easy. That's hard. Ocean.
All right, I agree with you on that one. Tea or lemonade?
Lemonade.
Arnold Palmer person. I love half and half.
Uh-huh. I can imagine.
Ice cream or popsicle?
Oh, ice cream all day, every day. Pistachio to be exact. Yes, please.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
more. Yeah.
And lastly, travel the world or road trip?
Oh, I travel the world. Travel the world. Yeah, for sure. That's what I like to do whenever I can. I try to do it often.
I love it. Thank you for answering those. So to kick things off, you've built a dynamic and multifaceted career across some of the biggest platforms in sports media. Can you take us back to the moment you knew this was a path you wanted to pursue and what drew you to broadcasting?
Oh, I think early on, some of us are knowers and some of us kind of find our way. I can't decide if one is better than the other. In fact, I just think ultimately, if you get on your journey, you're on your journey. But since I was 7 years old and I was watching TV and I saw this Black woman on television, she was a local news anchor. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, that's amazing. What is she doing? It feels important. And then I don't know if you guys heard of this lady called Oprah. And then she came on TV and I was like, oh, whatever that is that's happening. I just saw her on television and I was drawn to her. She was just so magnetic. So all of that kind of set in my spirit for a while. And then I realized when I was in school, elementary school, junior high school, I was always, trying to help somebody who can help themselves, speaking up for other people. And then ultimately I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, but I knew that really I wanted to tell stories of the culture. About our people, what we would do. And so I knew I literally, by the time I was 7 years old, I had an idea of what this was. I couldn't actually articulate it that way, but I knew I would be doing this.
I love that. And it goes to show how important representation is, even at an early age. So thank you for sharing that. You've worked on debate heavy shows like First Take and more conversational programs like The Arena on TNT.
Mm.
How did adapting to these different formats help you develop an authentic voice in the process?
Oh, that's a great question. Because I think this is something that I always say for people, women especially, it's really hard to find our voice. And what I mean by that is what you believe, how you believe, it's authentic, and then you say it, with all your chest, and and you're unapologetic about it. We grow up in a society that teaches us to, everything that other people enjoy in our male counterparts are considered flaws for us. If we are aggressive, if we speak up, if we are, ambitious, all of those things have some sort of double-edged meaning and or sword for women. And I think working on First Take, I was a rookie and I didn't have a choice. If I didn't get in the arena, not even referring to the show, but if I didn't get in there and try to find my way, I would get lost. And that was just it. Nobody was looking to help me. Nobody was going to drag me along. You figure it out. Good luck. Go have at it. And so I think that for me taught me how to find my voice in every possible way in the world, in life, personally, professionally. Invaluable. To me, that was invaluable.
That is extremely important. And even today, we have a lot of people on the call who are looking to have a career in broadcasting or the industry. And from your perspective, what's the best way for fresh voices to get noticed and start their careers?
That's a great question. This is what I would tell everyone who wants to be in this business in some form or fashion and find your voice. What do you do authentically that is you, right? I think if it, and I'm not saying authentic like, you have to follow your dreams and do exactly what you want. But what I'm saying is if I'm really good at, and I'll use a sports analogy, NIL, name, image, and likeness. If I knew how that all worked because I was a college athlete, or I'm in college currently as an athlete, or my best friend is an athlete, and I know how they get paid with their name, image, and likeness, I would make something that I'm really close to, that I know about. I would make that my thing. Because once you become an expert in something, people will want to be around you, talk to you, get your opinion because you have more knowledge than they do. And I take all of that knowledge, and as you know, you can do it on a podcast, you can do it on Twitter. I would respond to certain personalities that I like on social. It's not Twitter no more, X, but I still call it Twitter. I would respond to people that I like that are on these platforms and engage with them, and tell them things. And in that way, maybe you pop up on their podcast or their show, or maybe they're willing to come on your show or give you some FaceTime, or say, I know one time I hired somebody off of X as my social media editor for my podcast, or in the early days, just because they would always engage with me. And they went on and made their own podcast and did their own thing. They made good with the opportunity that was given to them. So I always say, just be an expert at something and then offer those services.
Something near and dear to your heart is mentorship. And through Brown Girls Dream, you've created a platform for mentorship and empowerment. What have you learned from the young women you mentor?
They inspire me. They should be mentoring me. I love it when the student becomes a teacher. I think for me, it was about representation always. I just always wanted to be somebody you could touch base with. It's an informal mentorship, meaning, we can talk about anything. There's no guidelines. It's not tight. I wanted to feel a little loose, but I was able to create a sisterhood. And these women, these started off as, young girls. These women now are in the business and thriving, a lot of them in front of the camera, a lot of them in sports in some capacity, a lot of them behind the scenes. But now they're turning around and giving back. And they're mentoring. Autumn Johnson, she was one of my mentees. She now has her own Autumn Johnson television mentor program that she does every year, which I love. And I think that inspires me, because when you get caught up in doing the thing, the business, the work, life, you forget that the sole purpose is to be of service.
That's so important and awesome to see. And we met through Autumn, so it's really cool to see women you've helped go off and do their own thing now. Lastly, if the version of you who just landed her first on air role could see where you are now, what do you think she would be most surprised by?
She'd be most surprised by, because I'm gonna tell you guys I don't know if y'all feel this way. As soon as I had graduated from college, I was like, so by the time I'm 3 years after I graduate, I should be a millionaire a few times over. And then after that, this is just like, you just making up stuff. And it's like, and then after that, I probably will just travel. I had all these, and you make all of these plans. And I want you all to realize this. What she'd be most surprised at is that I even listened to those plans for as long as I listened to those plans, because my underdeveloped brain at 18 years old or 15 years old didn't know what the hell I was really getting into. And so I always laugh at all the plans that I have. So I think the little girl in me would laugh at all the plans, because life I wouldn't even be in this space according to the plans that I had. I knew I wanted to do something like what Oprah did, but I never imagined I'd be in sports. I never imagined, in terms of the plan, I'd be working at CNN, or I'd have this, like, all of those things to me made sense, but that wasn't the plan. And so I encourage you all to look at your plan, look at your age, and realize that you have not experienced enough life to stick to that plan.
Cari, thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us this evening. It
I'll come
was such a
back.
treat hearing from you and all of your experiences. So thank you again.
You're welcome. I'll come back anytime. I loved it. Thank you guys.